Welcome, everybody. Okay. That seems fine. Hope everybody's doing well today. They're just gonna let the whole thing time out, aren't they? Oh no! This is the first time that my Elgato's actually slipped. Dang it. Okay. We'll see how that goes. That's so annoying. It had been doing so well! Thanks, Matt. We're doing pretty well. Went to a comedy show on Thursday. I had dinner with some friends yesterday. Yeah, it's coming along. We watched some Olympics and some TV this morning. It's been a pretty chill Saturday. We saw Mateo Lane. Jean is tempting. Think I want Betsy here. I don't even know these days. I don't watch the Olympics as much as I used to. I probably lightly prefer summer. I do really like swimming. But honestly, I've always enjoyed figure skating. That's winter only. I don't know. They're both neat. Okay, well, that's what I get for not taking Shang-Chi. Maybe we'll see him at the end. Hey, Pablo. Good enough. That's funny, Matt. I can see that. God, the gameplay is going to be so laggy. I've left it unplugged this whole time, but maybe it's just because I haven't restarted my computer in a few days. It is so freaking temperamental lately. That's fine. Excuse me. Yeah, they're just letting it play out. Okay, what do I want to practice? I don't think it particularly matters. Who am I looking for my first rank 5? God, are they not even playing? Are they just starting and timing out? I don't even know. I don't know if this person is AFK or spiteful. I'm not sure for my first rank 5. There's a decent chance it'll be Blue Marvel because he'll be new and I'll want to play with him. And his prestige is good. But I don't know. I've got a lot of options. I guess I'm not looking up during the gameplay. How is it? How bad is it? Do I need to give up and come back in a couple hours after restarting my computer? No, I think Prowler would be sweet. Like, the good thing about Ascension is that it's not resetting SIG levels, so you already have that advantage with Prowler. One second, picking bands. I don't know if you can see that or not. But since SIGs aren't resetting, he's pretty darn valuable right away. Challenge rating helps him quite a bit because his stuff scales with critical damage. Him landing more crits means more ruptures. It's hard for me to imagine him not performing quite well. Okay. Yondu is a fantastic pickup here. Patriot's pretty darn good for Photon. Do I have enough defenders, though? I don't really need Patriot if I have Shang-Chi, I don't think. Are you assuming it'll go down, Black Hole? Because if so, that is an incorrect assumption. You probably run through us with Onslaught, but let's see how fast I can go. Sometimes this is 25 seconds and lights out. Sometimes it's 40 because she decides to play hide and go seek. I think this is a worthy gamble for round 1. We'll see. Thank you. Okay. Go me. That was a good dex. Her damage is not going down. A specific damage modifier is going down because if it didn't, she would be absolutely busted beyond what's acceptable. Right? No, she hits significantly harder and she is insanely strong. Um, It's just that she's one of those characters where, like, if you make her much more playable and do basically anything to improve quality of life, the DPS skyrockets, so we had to pull something back somewhere. This should be good. Maybe I could have used Shocker. That's alright. Dang it. Tried to get out of there as fast as I could. Alright, let's see how they do. Thanks, Brutal. I appreciate that. Hey, BT, how's it going? Is that... Did YouTube change the moderator button? I've never seen that before. Huh. Guess it's a shield and not a hammer now. Okay. Excuse me. I think we won this one. Nice. I hope they're doing well. No, it won't change anything about the parry mastery. I would like. There's a couple reasons, but I'm pretty sure that is not actually damage reduction in the first place, meaning nothing about it would change. Because I don't think you take damage if you parry a Daunted Mutant. I can't remember testing that. Man, that is an annoying set of champions. Would not be surprised if we lose. Kushal is a good pickup. It is indeed a hot topic. I've honestly never loved the tight cadence of... Excuse me, thinking. The tight cadence of Colosseum. There are valid reasons for trying it, right? I'm not really going to go into that right now. I'm just telling you that I share that opinion with a lot of people. I think that the fight was less fun than some of the others. Thinking about this. I'm not sure I want us to ship one that is this mechanically difficult again in the future, but I also don't necessarily want to say it's beyond the pale. Because I do think that it is completely valid for us to ship differing levels of fight threats. If that makes sense. I don't like this draft at all. Like, I think the reaction a lot of people had to the first few was, okay, well, whether this is harder than I'd like or not, it seems like a good run is 12 to 15 or something, and so that's what I should judge everything around. And then on this fight, even a lot of the best players were having trouble putting up 12 to 15 with more than maybe one champ, if that. And I don't think that that is the symptom of a problem necessarily. I think it is perfectly valid in the future. That's interesting. What do I want to do with that? Don't like that at all. I think it's perfectly valid in the future for us to ship a fight where most people are kind of topping out at that, and a lot of people are lower. Yeah, this is gonna suck. She is not gonna back up. I don't know why I hit her block. Okay, that's fine. We die. I didn't feel like that one was good, but I felt like anyone who was good for her, I was just going to be hurting myself later. And Yelena's quite good into block. I'm also just okay with losing here. I'm like half paying attention. Yeah, I have a lot of conflicting thoughts. Like, there are things I like about it, there are things I don't like about it. I think a lot of the responses have been incredibly hyperbolic. Like, bluntly, we're trying a new game mode here. We have to iterate on it. We have to be trying things. You not liking the current state does not mean that we are failing. I know that's probably going to read at a shot, or as a shot at a certain thumbnail, but I would tell him to his face that I think he's being ridiculous. And I have before. Ouch. Jerk. That was my fault. So was that, but I hoped that he was going to... Rope. Alright. Get this one over with. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm closer to you, Pablo. Like, I didn't enjoy the arcade fight, really. But I did find flow states against it. I just had to plan them differently. I wasn't really planning on getting to rooms 15 most of the time, and so I wasn't even really worried about, like, mitigating block damage or anything. I was just using my health as a resource to find openings. I was parrying, even when he was stun immune, to limit damage and bait out heavies. Like, there were a lot of ways to express skill. And I enjoyed that about the fight. I don't know. It's like... I forget if I said this internally, and I'm, rediscovering my own thought or not, but, like... It's just because he's tanky and a stall... I think it might have been appropriate for him to just have a bit less health. Like, have a lower health modifier than some of the others. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that we should be willing... That's the kind of lever we should be willing to pull. Like, finding flow states are fun, and I'm okay with, like... I'm okay with us not getting here again, but I don't think that we necessarily should be hard blocked out of it, because, like, there were flow states to find in this fight. And I don't think the flow state should always be easy. If that makes sense. Not saying that, like, Nefaria was easy, but, like, Yeah, I don't think I've vocalized this, but I think it's true as I start to say it. I think I enjoyed Arcade more than Nefaria. Like, I had higher scores against Nefaria. Much higher. But I think I actually enjoyed this fight more. I felt like I had more control over it. And, like, I didn't want Arcade to throw a special one, but if he did, I knew how to deal with it. I didn't necessarily want him to throw heavies every time he did, but if he did, I knew how to deal with it. Yeah, I think it felt more interactive to me than like, all right, let me just push this guy to special 2 7 million times, and if he throws a special one into block, then yeah, I hope I hit 8 health bars because this run's probably dead as an honest attempt. And like that I don't miss. Adam, I found a more legit flow state most of the time, but there was still RNG there, and I think Adam was a little on the easy side. It absolutely could, Pablo. The sleep timer is also supposed to end fights sometimes, so like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, the block damage was real, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of repairing you could do. I know not everybody can reparry reliably. I wasn't doing it 100%, that's for damn sure. I think I just said Dan sure because I was trying to catch myself from the curse at the last minute and it was a little late. I think that one still counts as a nickel in the jar. I don't know. Like I said, I've got a lot of thoughts here. But that's probably enough for public at the moment. Yeah, I think the one other thing I can say on it is that, like, we're not done iterating, right? Trust us to keep playing it with it. Yeah, it does indeed, Elijah. And I'm sure we'll keep playing with it. Like, I don't think that it's likely that we ship Serpent anytime soon. And by anytime soon, I mean like in the next 2 years or something. If even then. But I also agree with you. I think that it is interesting when we do get more difficult defenders that often people just kind of nuke down and don't pay as much attention to, and you really have to understand some of the nuance of what they're doing to get through it. I think that's neat. Don't really love this draft either, but what else is new? Yeah, that's a neat angle, Pablo. Because a lot of people have said that they wished they were swapped. but I get what you mean. The entry cost in Alliance feeling cheaper is definitely a bit of a factor. Hey, buddy. Block! Yeah, I should have thrown that earlier. That's okay. Yeah, I get that for sure, Elijah. I very much agree with that, Pablo. I've pushed back on that a number of times. I don't think that we should just be designing assuming people clear 10 or more health bars. That's bad for several reasons. A number of different ways. Woo, that one hurt. Still good, but could have been a bit better. Yeah, it's absolutely a tough balance. Yeah, I mean, we can build whatever accounts we want, Elijah. I will say there's probably some players who are insisting on hard who should be playing medium. And I know none of them want to admit that. I mean, we don't want medium difficulty to be too viable, Pablo, or else it's going to be the meta strategy for people who are definitely good enough for hard, but they're just going to clear through like 40 or 50 health bars on medium and go, cool, that's the way to go then. But I think medium, even with its current tuning, is probably just where some people should be. Yes, very much the Nightmare Raids problem. That is exactly the issue. Yeah, exactly, Elijah. Feels like you're pounding your head against a wall, then stop. I definitely understand the time complaint. It's like it's one of the only pieces of content where I can't even start really to put in any work on my alt. And I am sorry to my alt alliance for that reason, but it's like if I have the brain space for Coliseum, I basically need to be spending it on the main. I'll admit I did medium most of the time against arcade. Good. Like I said, more people probably should. Yeah, and enjoyment is part of it. I am glad to hear that from both of you, Jason and Chris. Because that is explicitly part of the design, right? By which I mean that, like, medium is there for a reason, too. And that reason is not just to point and laugh at people and call them Weenie Hut Junior goers because they use it, right? Like, it is an intended part of the design, and we did spend time tuning medium so that it made sense. So I am very glad it worked. Sorry, that's a SpongeBob reference, Jason. Probably a bit young for you and maybe in the wrong country. There's a SpongeBob episode where he wants to go into what's it called? Chowder Hut something. There's like a tough bar where the tough fish with like mom tattoos go, and then there's Weenie Hut Jr., which is more his speed, and it's a whole thing. But my point is that we are not trying to gatekeep you like that. We want it to be a real option. Hey, Hogan. Salty Spittoon, thank you. It's been a while. I was never much of a SpongeBob guy either, I'll admit. I've definitely seen it, but I'm consumed it at least as much through memes as anything. You jerk. Alright, well. Get some healing out of this one. Hey, Jason, good to see you. I'm really glad we got to see you all while you were around. I'm sure that was very intended. Elijah. Alright, they can definitely do this with Bullseye, so I do need to be a little careful here. Future Ant-Man is useless because they have Hulkling. Hulkling's going to be dangerous. Oh, and they're not using Bullseye. Okay, this should be alright. Let's just see how I fare against Bishop's Special 2, because that is a toss-up on the best of days. Alright, hit him once on block. Or, just tell him to get lost. That works too. I have seen at least a bit of MASH and WKRP. My dad is also old. They're solid stuff. But we're talking radio, TV, film-related sitcoms. Has anyone seen Sports Night? Only ran, I think, 2 seasons? It was like early aughts, I think. Somewhere in there. Saw that with my parents when I was growing up in high school. That's a good one. Alright. Pavita's probably a bit slow for this. Like, when he eventually gets to a special 2, he's just gonna wreck people. So maybe it's worth it? He's too slow. That's not gonna work. That will... It is both, right? Effect. Cool. Decent as a defender. Ooh. Ooh, Jane is probably very... Well, no, because it doesn't give them power. But she's only working on Mystic Dispersion? Not great. Yeah, Imperios is probably terrible. Thanos, I think, is in there just for defense. Gentle actually can gain power. That one sounds kind of fun. Zemo will only really gain power in debuff matchups. I can't imagine Dracula is actually worth running. Yeah, you definitely weren't alone, Mo, but I do appreciate you being relatively chill about it. Oops, not what I meant to do. She's just good for power shield. I am taking suggestions. Cassie has access to the poison. Apoc might actually be worth using on offense with the power shield. Sola should go both ways pretty well. Heyo. Yeah, Kindred's valid even though only rank 3. For the moment. I honestly might go take Kindred to rank 4 right now before I match. Dracula is quite good outside of Battlegrounds. I like Dracula quite a lot. Just slow. Teemo Purifying Debus is a good shout. I'm sure Dust is still good. Nice, Hogan. What'd she look? Yeah, and there's no power start in this one, right? Yeah. Let me check the offensive dot tag. That's probably something I should have done already. Betsy, we won in for defense, but that probably means she's decent on offense. She's just gonna be stupid. Nova could work, but I don't think he's fast enough. Alright, let's drop some people out of here. I-Bomb's not actually going to be good. Not good enough. And I can't be asked to put a relic on him. Cassie's probably going to be the wrong kind of speed as well. We are definitely low on science, though. We should probably be running Torch. I might have too many mystics. You know what? I do need to put a battle cast, or a stat cast on Korg. Probably worth, as much as I love Mojo, it's probably worth dropping him. It'll be a while before his power gain comes online, and by then someone like Werewolf will have already cut through them. Probably drop Paviter in favor of Spiral. Cool. I think this makes sense for now. Y'all, I never said that Wolf wasn't worth putting in. I am looking for room. Cassandra is a special one nuke champ. Okay, let me take stock of my mutants. Yeah, X-23 being mostly light attacks means that I'm willing to drop her in favor of Cassandra. Cool. We can try this for now. Okay, let's go get Korg a battle cast, or a stat cast. Does anybody else need anything? Can I get you anything? 3 orange whips? No, sorry. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I should have just gone down here. Oh yeah, that's obvious. I probably even gave this, StatCast Embers specifically thinking of Korg. Okay. Let's go ahead and take Kindred up. I legitimately might play one match, but I've been thinking of doing this for a while anyway. Pardon. Alright, where does that put the root? Oh, dang. Hmm. Okay, if I'm maxed on these, then I'm okay. Yeah, we'll do that. That's cool, Hilgen. That's honestly one of the reasons that I was thinking of taking Kindred up, is Prestige, because he's probably in my Prestige now. Yep, there they are. Okay, I think we finally knocked Atuma out. No, I don't mind. I don't mind suggestions, and I literally asked for them. I just do ask for some patience as I'm trying to find spots. Okay. Now, who am I most scared of? Sentinel sounds annoying. Thing sounds pretty annoying. I have some answers for Yelena, but they're a little slow. I don't know, let's knock out Nick. Do I know a cool use case for the Blue Marvel Indestructible that I haven't seen mentioned yet? Yes. At least one I have seen nobody mention. Oh, it just drafted Dark Phoenix for me. I mean, that's fine. I was gonna get her anyway, but that was a surprise. Okay. Hey, work, how's it going? Iceman Instaban. Bane is not from Champions, so that one's pretty safe. Worse auto drafts? Yeah. Yes, there are. I love that for you, Ozfan. I've been meaning to borrow the DVDs from my parents to show my wife. I like that show. Yeah, no, that caveat was necessary for me to ship the ability. I would say I was under orders, but I had the same um, priority or reaction, however you want to put it. But to finish the joke, I was under orders from Balance that if it was not possible, um, to build that restriction, that I shouldn't bother. Or that I should strip the ability out. I probably should have still gone straight to the special 2. Yeah, come here. There we go. Alright. I can definitely clean that up. Okay, that works. I have seen somebody mention Red Skull. I hadn't seen anybody mention combo detonation, I don't think, but that wasn't what I was thinking. Good shout, though. Yeah, like Kindred's the obvious one. It was in the deep dive. I think I said as a freebie that it applies to Enchantress's abjuration damage that she reflects. That is definitely one of the coolest use cases. But there is another one that I discovered by accident that I haven't seen anybody note it or mention yet. Is Mysterio's direct? That would definitely count. That's a cool one too. Mojo's degen, I think I've seen somebody say, but yeah, like degen in general is pretty safe. Mysterio's info page doesn't specify. Are you serious? Broccoli? Okay, I'll check that out in a minute. Probably should have taken torch. I have not tried that, Hogan. I actually haven't heard of that one. I'm open to a quick pitch. Incorrect, Mo, because Sinister does not purify. Yeah, Power Stings have been mentioned. Gallon's Harvest has also been mentioned, and that, yeah, that is a cool one for sure. Another draft I don't really like. Jaeger got it. I messed up a Destroyer Special 2 decks and realized that it saved me. And that was a very cool discovery. Because you take the actual hit damage of the first hit, but then it stops it. I don't like this matchup, but I'm going to give it a shot. You said discovered by accident, and I knew instantly. Yup. That was intended as a clue. Excuse me, my knee just hit the underside of my table. Oh, interesting. That is a good pitch. Whoops, my bad. Oh, I thought I was just too slow. No, that's okay. No, that's fine. Maybe I'm just bad at intercepts. That's okay. That's fine. Okay, I can clean that way up. I think I just need to be baiting heavies from the beginning, accept the crits into block, and have that work sooner. But yep, that is what that fight ends like. I actually don't know on Rogue. I wouldn't be surprised. Strange, I think you're one of many, many people who are going to be surprised when they realize Patriot absolutely does not need a buff for Ascension. I wasn't sure we'd get through that one fast enough. No, because Kitty Pryde is not brand new. We have clarified this several times. New to a rarity is not brand new. Okay, it's just complete a quest. That's fine. I really don't know how much I'm going to play. I know I keep saying that. I just caught that second message work. Yeah. You'll get a lot better. You missed the Eternity of Pain fight that a lot of people had against Destroyer. Once you get the special 2 down, that's a lot of it. Hey, Abyss. Okay, how about that? I'm about to ban a Phoenix. Maybe I should have banned Sentinel. We'll see. Hey, Bleezy, welcome. Me too, Hogan. Me too. Oh, and thank you, Aaron Spider. I missed that earlier. So you're still here. I appreciate it. And good luck on the polls. Yeah, let's go raw defense here. Would love to pick up Wolf, but... Magic is not getting treated like a new champion. Like, Magic is being rebuilt, yes, but she is not a standard release champion because she's going in the Radiance store, right? Now, that doesn't mean that we won't be making Ascension materials available, but, like, you shouldn't assume that they're available just because it's a rebuild. She's not standard release, like, she's not getting crystals in an arena and that kind of stuff, right? That's what standard new release means, and we have clarified that, yeah, it's fine. We've clarified that a brand new character in a double track also counts, even though they don't get the crystals and arenas at the same time. I don't think anyone actually knows how to do that anymore, Abyss, or at least not quickly. I probably could check raw ownership data, but it's not something I'm really fluent in. I don't know, man. Take care, Pablo. Hey, Darkness, welcome. Could have gone Tigra, but I'm still not great at that particular matchup. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if there's already a null. The funny thing is that could have been cleaner. I made at least 2 mistakes. I use an iPad Pro, Strange. Alright, I'm expecting Enchantress, but we'll see. I'm sorry, friend, what were you doing for the last 3 days? Excuse me. You bluesy. Pleasy. No, that's totally fine, Gerd. Yeah, I've also been having a good time with Lorwyn. I think there's enough depth to keep it quite fun. I might feel differently if it were my primary game, but it's not. I'm still having tons of fun. I'm glad to hear that, Card. I agree, Strange is really good. Skill is definitely a contender. Let me pull up the list carefully and on a different device. You know, I was gonna say it might be Mutant. It's Mutant. Yeah. I like all of them. For those of you who don't know, I was heavily involved in the selection. I'll be fully transparent. It wasn't my call, but I was on the small team. Um, yeah, I think it's Mutant. Oh, nice. That was quick. I guess it makes sense. These are very simple. And for you haters out there, that does include Danny. I quite like her. She's going to slap Ascended. Yeah, I quite like the iPad Pro. I recently switched from an older iPad Pro that was, I think, over 10 years at that point, to a newer one, literally within the last few months. And I quite like it. I like having the extra real estate. I have pretty large hands, and so it's important for me. Their Bastion is bigger than mine, so probably gone. Maybe also gone. And then Scream is tempting. Yeah, I think Scream. Cool. Maybe I should have also gone Okoye, because again, theirs is bigger than mine. It is the M5, I believe. Okay. They have a big Yelena, and I kind of want to try that APOC fight again. That was fun. I think it can be much faster. It is not Jaeger. I think it is, it has extra chance, but it is not immune. I think that makes sense work, yeah. At this point, I'm just used to this size. Like, I have the bigger one, the like 8.5 by 11 paper. And that's just what I'm used to. It's fine. Like, I don't mind liquid glass. There's still some stuff that clearly is not hooked up the way it should be. Let's be honest. But I don't mind it. Let's see. Do I need Kushala? Probably not. Do I need Tigra? Not really. Then let's grab Prowler. That's cool, Jaeger. Yeah, Danny will also have a nice, what's the word? Prestige advantage. That's gonna be cool. But that's the thing. It's not her ideal target. It was how she was advertised, which was a mistake, but that doesn't make him her ideal target. Hey, Stig. I didn't say she doesn't target Nick, Elijah. Although your example is a bad one because Marked doesn't do anything to Nick. God. Can't believe we're relitigating this. I mean, for one thing, out of Ascended skill champions, Danny hoses Zemo. She's incredible against Mole Man. She destroys Kingpin. She's quite good against Korg if you know what you're doing. Danny has a lot of really solid targets. And she does work against Nick. It's just not ideal, right? Because he counters miss. But the problem was that because she can counter Nick, instantly people got obsessed with, well, then she has to hard counter him. Nothing about the matchup can possibly go wrong, or it's a mistake. And that's how we got where we are. He is very good for Punisher. Indeed. I should have ended with the... Like, this is still gonna be fine, but... Stupid mistake. Says who, Strange? Yeah, what works at Iron? Let's try and talk about ideas more than people. Yeah, I don't think Strange is actually right, Elijah. I think Strange is saying that he thinks she should have had another ability. I don't know what you mean by trade up darkness, but I will tell you the way that high evolutionary stuff already works is convoluted enough that the answer is probably yes. Good luck, Hilgan. I'm sure you're gone already. Man Thing sounds pretty annoying, not gonna lie. Maybe I just get rid of that. I don't know, I don't feel confident in that one. No, Abyss Jaeger's trying to be cute. Gotcha, Darkness. That would definitely be very convoluted, yeah. It's very difficult to carry over basically anything from one fight to another. Yeah, I like Apocalypse a lot. Agreed. Which is what Jaeger was playing with. Should we just go for the trio? Drop all three Cosmics in a row? Know they're gonna get one down with Nico and see where we go from there? That is smart of them. Nice, Hogan. Alright, come on. Couple more. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Please be enough. Probably is without Invade. Because Yondu shouldn't be nearly as fast. Because my Elgato is old and cranky stream. Or strange. I do what I can. Does Enchantress have the most writing in any champion's kit? Probably, once you take into account her glossaries. Most bullets is, I think, still out of Morlock. Some of his bullets are less chunky than Enchantress's, though. Yeah, it was my fault. I should have cleared it. I was even thinking about it. Alright, come here, buddy. Okay. I think we're still good. That was a waste. Buff immunity is still very strong. Doesn't mean we won't see more, but it's not something that we're just going to start slapping on every second Mystic. Hey, Zemo. Not really a clean bitrate setting on the Elgato itself. It's not OBS or YouTube, right? Which is normally where bitrate issues are. I could try and manually reduce the resolution, but bluntly on iPads that is difficult. It causes a whole bunch of resizing and stuff. I may play with it. I think I have before. I don't think it helped. I think it's just the capture card is... I won't even say it's getting old. It's not that old. It's like 2 years, but it's being temperamental. No, the Hulkling fix is not live. We're working on it. Going through QA, but it's not out. We do not pull names out of a hat. 1 second, real quick. I'm gonna ask myself, do I actually care about going up? Honestly, that's probably enough radiance for me to be happy with it. I'll probably play some more, but I'm feeling myself start to be hungry enough that I should probably go help my wife with dinner. But I will answer that first. Yeah, we don't draw names out of a hat. The way that our process works, at least now, it's evolved a little bit over time, but I'll just speak to right now, is that we have a calendar set up way ahead of time. Like, we have a rough draft, still subject to, like, approvals and finalization and a whole bunch of other things. But we have a rough draft of who we're planning to ship through all of 2027. And we have had that draft now for a few months. Before that, we had some names down, but we had all of 2026, right? So we are quite far ahead, always. Um, we on that same document, we put down like soft dibs for like, hey, who wants to design this one? Who wants to design this one? We also have personal wish lists where we say like, I really want this champion to come to the game. Like Blue Marvel was on mine for a while. If a champion is on somebody's wish list, it's probably not on anybody else's, and that usually is a pretty strong dibs, so they will normally get them. But it's not necessarily super strict. Like sometimes things can move around. Like an example I've given before is that I would have loved to have built White Tiger, but she was both a little too close after Kushala to be comfortable, and then also once I had Kushala, I felt like Serpent was cool, so I didn't mind missing out on White Tiger because I was like, cool, I'll just design Serpent instead. And also Kabam Sate really wanted White Tiger, right? So it was like that's the kind of thing that happens often. Um, for Nico and Carolina, those were two that Kabam Honeydew and myself had both put dibs on very, very early. And so that was just like we were basically penciled in months in advance, and everybody else was basically given the opportunity to fight us for it, and they declined, right? Sometimes there are some small fights. Like not like fights, but just like both of multiple people want something. A good example of this was both Honeydew and I, funnily enough, 3 months before, both of us did want Bastion. And so we kind of talked about it and we're like, okay, well, how much do you want Bastion? And Honeydew was like, a lot. I am very Bastion pilled. This means a lot to me. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I will build Jean Grey. I haven't built a mutant yet. It's the same build. I'm happy with that. And so basically, it's just we're adults. We try to find the path forward that will make the most of us the happiest relative to the schedule. Thank darkness. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I am very confident that say when you say statcast relics aren't working, that you are wrong. Can you clarify how exactly you are expecting the Stark statcast to increase damage for Shocker? Because that's the one that has physical penetration as a primary, right? Hmm. I honestly don't have many thoughts about it, Iron. I haven't really devoted time to it, but I don't think it would be great. And the reason I say that is because I have briefly played around with like using my iPad as a controller while the game is elsewhere or something along those lines, and it does not work great for me. A controller is okay, but I can't imagine that the game would be super fun in VR. I don't know. I'd be willing to try it, but I'm a little skeptical that it would be fun, and the probably the bigger issue is that our stages and backgrounds have just never been built for that. And to a large extent, our models aren't built for that. And so, like, because VR kind of inherently comes with more freedom of camera, we would need to do a lot of extra work to make it not look janky. If that makes sense. Yeah. What Magnus said. If you're facing somebody who doesn't have physical resistance, then the Stark Relic isn't going to do anything for Shocker. I I'm sorry, Strange, but I'm pretty sure that you are mistaken here, especially because you are telling us confidently that Shocker benefits from physical penetration, and then you are telling us that the only source of physical penetration in the game doesn't do anything for his damage. That means you're probably wrong. Yeah, Winter Soldier doesn't have any physical resistance. One second, double checking something. So you said something else that I don't think really makes any sense either. Yeah, Shocker's Special 2 is not physical penetration, it's physical vulnerability. Those are two different things. So I think that's what's confusing you, right? Shocker benefits from a physical vulnerability because physical vulnerabilities just reduce physical resistance. Physical penetration only bypasses physical resistance if it's positive. Otherwise, it's not supposed to do anything. Thanks, Darkness. Yeah, it's always weird to think back about like what if things had been assigned differently. Um, I know that my Bastion, my theoretical Bastion, would have had some things in common with Honeydew's. Because a few of the things that she ended up doing, I explicitly suggested. But they were also like some of the more obvious things, right? They were like kind of things that I thought were already cool. They lined up well against Onslaught. They were pulling from inspiration like Omega Sentinel. Like, there's a decent chance she would have come up with any of that without me saying anything, right? Um, but I don't know what the alternative would have looked like. I don't know what my White Tiger would have looked like, right? Like it's I have no idea what Honeydew's Gene would have looked like. There's no way to really know these things. Like there I don't know what Mimic's Absorbing Man would have looked like, right? If I hadn't gotten hired, he probably would have built it. I'm sure all of those alternate reality kits are good, but it's impossible to really think what they would be, even if you assigned those builds to those people now, because yeah, the designer attached to something from the beginning is just so important to the output, right? Anyway, I think that kind of speaks for itself, so I'll stop. But sounds good, as fan. Yeah, I get why you asked, Iron, for sure. On this elsewhere, strange in the same process. Plateau point where certain strikers don't have benefits to certain champs. Yeah, there was also that. And that's kind of why, like, in the spotlight, I recommended special damage for Blue Marvel and not crit rate or crit damage. Because crit rate and crit damage do technically help him, but barely. Like, almost not at all. Yeah, Bastion's quite good. Anywho, I had a 7-star Nexus. I can open that, and then we can kind of leave it on that note. Cool. Okay. Think about what wave I want to open later. Oh, neat. Thing SIGs are good. I never have really given him much. Cool, cool. Like I said, I was going to sign off anyway, but my wife just texted me, so I think my instincts were right that it's probably about time to